Glad to have you here, and we're really enthusiastic about the 360 band without one, but here they are.
We can either be 2/3 of 360 or we can be 240 since Michael's out of town.
Next time you're found with your chin on the ground, there's a lot to be learned. So look around. Just what makes that little old ant think he'll move that rubber tree plant? Everyone knows an ant can't move a rubber tree plant, but he's got high hopes. He's got high hopes. He's got high apple pie in the sky. Hope so. Anytime you're feeling low, instead of letting go, just remember that ant. Whoops, it goes another rubber tree plant. Oops, it goes another rubber tree plant. Oh, when trouble calls and your back's to the wall, there's a lot to be learned that a wall could fall. Once there was a silly old ram, thought he'd punch a hole in a dam. No one could make that ram scram. He kept butting that dam 'cause he had high hopes. He had high hopes. He had high apple pie in the sky. Hope so. Anytime you're feeling bad, instead of feeling sad, just remember that ram. Oops, there goes a billion kilowatt dam. Oops, it goes a billion kilowatt dam. Oh, you gotta have high hopes. Keep those high hopes. Keep those high apple pie in the sky. Hopes your problem's just a toy balloon. They'll be bursting soon. They're just bound to go pop. Oops, it goes another problem kerplop.
Oops, it goes another problem kerplop.
Oops, it goes another problem kerplop. Kerplop.
Boy, that was a fun one. That was really good, really good. All right. Charlie and I are again practitioners of the day here, so after service, if you would like a spiritual mind treatment, our form of affirmative prayer, please see us by the bell. We're happy to do that. And right now, I'd like to welcome you and everyone who's watching to the Center for Spiritual Living Reading, where our vision is to inspire and empower people to live spiritually fulfilling lives. You know, we're preparing for fall classes, and it's so exciting because we have the old favorites, but there's several new classes coming. So keep your eye on that because they're really, really good. And they're also updating some of the older ones, so that's even better. All right, I'd like to thank all our team today. Lindy's always here on the sound team, looking for assistance if you're interested. And Ronnie and Doug are ushers and greeters. And Reverend Sue is our senior minister doing our talk today called, Is Your Commitment Greater Than Your Resistance? That's going to be good. Okay, looking forward to that. And if you have any electronic devices here in the center, please turn them off or silence them. Thank you very much. And if you're new with us today, we have a welcome packet. Anyone new want to raise their hand? Anyone new? Oh, good. Ronnie's right behind us. She'll bring you one. Glad that you're here. And if you'd like it, you picked one up. And after service, if you'd like to come up, I'd be happy to show you around the grounds. We have a really beautiful facility here. All right, we have some focus announcements. The men's group is going to meet tomorrow evening at 7 to 9 in the conference room in the office, either online or in person. It's up to you guys, however you want to do that. And it's a really, really wonderful group of men who come together and share and learn. And you know, if you need to know how to fix a sprinkler, I think you'd even address that, wouldn't you, Roy? It's great. Yeah, I'm thinking of my house. And Sunday, July 18th, is Dunsmuir Days with Waterfalls Garden and a private concert for our team by Allison and Victor, who are amazing singers, and he plays a great guitar. So that's another SOAR adventure, and Sharon Matthews is putting that one together. On Saturday, July 24th, Ava Malinowski is doing her infamous Paint and Pour Your Art Out. It's a wonderful way to do an acrylic paint by pouring colors and mixing, and they're really, really beautiful. So that's available 10 to noon in the social hall, limited to 10 people. And Christy Carr has started she loves book sales, so she started a book sale in the social hall, and people are bringing in books and lining them up. So just check them out, and there's a donation box, I think, for them. Great idea. And the Zoom call every Wednesday is at 11 o'clock a.m., and it's for any of you who would like to join together and just catch up on who's doing what and how your tomatoes are growing. I mean, that's always a fun one to talk about. And please start thinking about signing up for classes. All right, that's enough of the announcements. And we have, oh, that was right after waving, wasn't it? We didn't even wave. This has been one of those days. We're adding more in. I had to unlock the back buildings, and that's been over a year. So all these things are happening. But in the children's cottage, there is new carpet, and it looks really, really beautiful. So are there any children in here that would like to go out to the children's program? Are there any adults who would like to go out to the children's program? I mean, we need to keep Bonnie happy out there. Maybe they're already out there. We'll just assume so. So I guess we don't need to do the face of God unless you want to do it for everyone here. Sure.
I've been waiting.
Oh.
Waiting to hear it again.
Oh, Lindy's queuing it up. Here we go. Can you sing it? The children can you see them all? I see some. Okay. More are coming. We know that. All right. So. Sure. Bonnie is the Children's Church Director.
Thank you so much. We are still looking for volunteers to help out in the cottage on Sundays. We need teachers and we need teaching assistants. So if that draws you in, you know, the children are future and the future of this church. And so it's near and dear to my heart. I can't imagine what my life would have been had I been raised with this philosophy. So you can get in touch with me, email, phone, and I would be glad to fill you in on the details. Thank you.
That is awesome. All right, we're going to have a reading, and then Charlie will invite the bell 3 times, and I'll do a treatment, and then Reverend Sue will talk about her big commitment is greater than her resistance. Or is that? All right, Craig, come on up. It's been an interesting year for both of us, hasn't it?
The reading this morning is from Dr. Joe Dispenza's book entitled Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Now, since we are wired to create habits, why not make true greatness, compassion, genius, ingenuity, empowerment, love, awareness, generosity, healing, quantum manifestations, and divinity our new habits? To remove the layers of personal emotions we decided to memorize as our identity, and to shed our selfish limitations that we have given such power to abandon false beliefs and perceptions about the nature of reality itself, and to overcome our neural habituations of destructive traits that repeatedly undermine our own evolution, and to relinquish the attitudes that have kept us from knowing who we really are all a part of finding our true self. Now, there is an aspect of the self that is a benevolent being who waits behind all of those veils. This is who we are when we are not feeling threatened, fearing loss, trying to please everyone, racing to succeed, and scrambling to get to the top at any cost, regretting the past or feeling inferior, hopeless, desperate, or greedy, just to name a few. When we overcome and remove whatever stands in the way of our infinite power and self, we are demonstrating a noble deed, not only for ourselves, but for all of humanity. So, the greatest habit you will ever break is the habit of being yourself. And the greatest habit you will ever create is the habit of expressing the divine through you. And that is when you inhabit your true nature and identity. It is to inhabit your true self.
This morning I felt the presence of the One, looking out at this again most beautiful day. And I felt myself lifted in my own eyes through my spiritual practices, knowing as if I resist those, my day just doesn't go as well. So as I celebrate being alive, healthy, wealthy, and wise, my mantra, I feel uplifted. And I remember once again, every day, the power of this teaching. So after a year of somewhat isolation from the world, I rejoice in coming out. I rejoice seeing all the people I love and their smiling faces and hearing songs I haven't heard in a year. It's so uplifting to be part of this community once again. The resistance just falls away. Yeah, get up and go. Get up and go. Come and feel refreshed, uplifted, and full of love. Thank you, God, for this day. Thank you for all the gifts we get by being here in this community. I rejoice in them and put them to good use however I can. It's a day that is blessed, and so it is. Reverend Sue.
Good morning. I hope this talk goes smoother than some of the other things so far today. It's always entertaining. So I am continuing on this theme about being pulled by a vision. And it was just kind of interesting when Mary was saying, Sue's, it felt like she was saying, Sue's commitment is her commitment to it greater than her resistance. And I thought, well, that's exposing me, because I have a lot of resistance to some of the greater ideas I have personally. But I invite you all into this conversation because it really touches the core of something very deep in each one of us. Looking at your commitment to whatever you vision, dream, hope, pray, whatever that is for you. Is your commitment to that unfolding of that greater good, is it truly greater than your resistance? And the reading of Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza, his work is really helpful in our current day. Now, Earnest Holmes has laid the pathway of how to invest ourselves in the science of mind, to realize what is in our way. What is in our way? Truly, what is our resistance to this greater idea? And so, as I speak, I keep wanting to invite you to look deeply into what is your resistance. How do you recognize it? What is familiar about your resistance? Is it something comfortable that just sits with you, walks with you, lives in you? Or is it a reliable source at the same time of your empowerment? When you feel it, you want to be motivated by it, by saying that great scripture, "Get thee behind me." I want to move forward in this direction, so get thee behind me, any resistance, and stand true to that. Or does it freeze you up and want you just to say, I'll try tomorrow. Today is not the day. So being pulled by a vision is what's important to kind of hear that languaging, because in visioning, this very important question arises. Now, we spoke a little bit about what visioning is, and it's not visualization. It is a deeper spiritual practice where you just surrender to the one and your meditations into that silent, beautiful realm right after a beautiful prayer to lead you into, with gratitude and love, your heart, your mind, your consciousness opens to the one, and you feel this download. What is mine to do? What is mine to do? It's actually a very important question every time you start to feel the stirring of anguish inside of you. Anytime you feel an upset, what is mine to do here? I do not want to follow the triggers. I do not want to follow the habit ways. I want to renew my spirit into the divine knowing and be led by that love. So we're being pulled. And so this question comes, what is mine to do? And what must I become to allow this vision to be made manifest? So it's in that dialogue, it's right there, that your deepest self and your commitment to that greater vision reveals itself right there. It's a very important piece of allowing yourself to move forward. So the questioning, what is the resistance that's in my way, is another way to put that question. And then rest. Rest in the knowing that the answer will come to you. Now, a lot of times when we start a spiritual journey, we want it to be kind of fluffy and easy and beautiful, rainbows and little kittens in our lap and things like this that are lovely, easy, genuinely, you start to adore and love life. But the only way we really grow is when we are pushed by pain, when we are pushed by sorrow, to uproot ourselves from the habitual patterns that we have ingrained inside of us. And that's where dispensive work comes in so powerfully. So be very, very clear with yourself. When you ask that question, what is the fullest expression of the divine for me in my life? Be very willing to surrender and to open to the information, to the download, to the moments, the way divine speaks to you, through intuition, through imagery, through pictures, through conversations, through synchronicities. However that is for you, the magic begins to happen. It's another way of seeing. And preparing for Women's Retreat in the fall, and I'm looking at the way the shamans see the world, and they see the reality of what is. They see a tree is a tree, but they also see what's in that tree. And does it speak? Does it have a message? So everything becomes an inquiry. The divine is sprinkled all around us with this magic, and we have the answers all around us. It's just for us to sit longer without the tapes or whatever the new language is for whatever goes on inside of us now as we continue to evolve with computers and stuff. But we have this download information that sometimes doesn't serve our greater good. But if you don't want to know that answer, then don't ask. And you'll probably be a freer right there. Just don't ask. So think of a time when you were committed, say, to perhaps better health, something that can be very personal to all of us. And usually that comes around New Year's Eve. And you play out the steps. You're going to tell yourself, I'm going to be committed to this journey of my well-being. I am so absolutely committed. You journal about it. You share it with a few trusted friends. You might even boldly declare it out loud in a group process. Everyone's ears are hearing you. Everybody's eyes are watching you. Your mind is ready and willing to share that. And either people are supporting you or judging you, or you're just setting yourself up right there, trying to empower yourself with this new idea of your well-being. And you buy all the right foods. You have an adorable outfit that's just ready for you to fit into. You have the right and perfect Nike shoes. You have a new Fitbit. You have all the apps you could do to support you, to help you journal along the way. And everything that you could possibly have done to prepare your way is all set, ready for January 1st to just click on. So we fast forward to January 2nd, and then you realize, there I am. I told myself I was just going to eat 3 gummy bears and the bag is gone. It's those moments. What is that? That's the resistance. The gummy bears are gone. And there's this shamelessness about it, because it fed some part of you, some unease, some threat of your greater good, longing to be expressed, but you felt like, am I good enough? Am I worthy enough? And then you set yourself back with those gummy bears or whatever addictive pattern it is. And then you say, tomorrow is another day. And it is. Tomorrow is another day. This center is all about do-overs. And that's where we get our empowerment, is in these do-overs. So here we are mid-year, and you want to assess, how many do-overs have I allowed myself? Is it time to revisit my vision of well-being? Do I need to get clear? Do I need to stand in my commitment a little bit stronger? And the freedom that you start to feel when you can let go of that resistance, because that resistance is a weighted burden upon your heart and your well-being right there. Lifting that, you're set free. Lifting that, you're set free. And the vision begins to move you, and you're being pulled by that greater idea. So the question that we look at today, with great sincerity, with great love, with great forgiveness of the self, is where, why, and how are we resisting our vision that we invested so much hope into? And why do we resist this transformation when we are really longing to release these mental, emotional, psychological blocks that are just continuing to populate themselves in our consciousness? So we take classes, yes, as Dr. Mary was sharing. These classes coming up in the fall, they're all in to help you just slowly move through your consciousness and pluck away the things that no longer serve you. And Dr. Joe Dispenza's work, again, is powerful in that as well. So why do we resist this transformation? And are we really willing to release these blocks? If we believe in our vision with our whole soul, with all of our heart, then this good will reveal itself because it is driving us. So one of the contributors to this message today was Reverend Raphael Ellis, and he says this: direct revelation is the practice. So a direct revelation, just like the moment of visioning, is the practice of the principles of spiritual being, freedom, and heaven, as individualized expression of the one infinite reality. We have access to the infinite wisdom and the intelligence of the ultimate reality. That is, he's describing the divine field that we allow ourselves to tune into and to align with. It's flowing through us, as us, to the degree that we set our previous ideas aside and become aware and conscious of the impress of universal spirit. So this direct revelation is always available through our intuition and can be intentionally cultivated through this practice of visioning. So the visioning is just consciously, you're using it as a tool to open me, to open, to be set free. Feel what that feels like. Because if you can feel it, then it's starting to take place in anchoring itself inside of you, this field of consciousness. It's illuminating a new idea, longing to be emerged into form. And without any kind of, you can let go of any preconceived idea of any limitation and just use it as a formal practice to sit with the divine, to sit in the lap of the divine and be fed. So we allow this highest vision to be known by our individualized consciousness. So we open to the greatness, to the oneness. And it begins to invest inside of us a whole new idea, a whole new experience. And we recognize right there we are tapping into the one mind, to the divine mind, to the God mind. And so we allow it to be known by our own consciousness. And we say, I am opening to a completely new idea here. And the Reverend goes on to say, to inspire us that the words of truth that we have heard spoken before, having received a direct revelation, the degree to which we embody oneness. I think about Scripture, and I think about how they portray in Scripture the beautiful dreams that so many of the biblical stories share with us. And the dreams don't make sense, but they make sense to the individual that is downloading this language of the divine through them. So they're embodying the oneness to the degree we embody wholeness. So we no longer feel fractured or broken in any part of our personality or psyche. We feel the sense of, I sit here renewed as the true self, as the deep, pure self. And into that degree that we can embody this God-knowing, this living life form inside of us begins to take root and form. It is to the degree which we allow life's vision to be made manifest through us, as us. It's up to us. So that degree, to that degree, hear that, to that degree that we allow that principle of greater good to just burst through. So it's exciting. It doesn't have to be scary. But what happens with our consciousness, we're so ingrained and we're so habituated by the time we're, 5. We already have ingrained inside of us many rules and many ideas from our parenting and from our social structure that is just trying to help us grow and move and be. But the first principle, the very first thing we want to remember, and Earnest Holmes is very clear on this, we are not bound by precedent. We are not bound by what happened before. But we as humans have this tendency to slip into the probability theory. Oh, I tried this before. I tried to have a wellness program before and I ate gummy bears. I'll probably do it again. You know, we have this probability. Can you see right then? As you think, as you believe, so be it. The gummy bears are just calling you in the store. They have healthier ones, though, I do know that. So look at this. So we have this tendency of viewing our vision in the context of past events. Now, how can that be? If it's a whole new vision, why would we taint it with our past? It's a new vision. It's a new direction. So all of the circumstances, all of the lessons that we have learned in the past are here to evolve us into a greater idea, to unfold our vision safely and successfully. So this perspective of thinking it happened before, so therefore it's going to happen again, allows us to let that go, to be free, to put that burden down, and then we get this mystical glimpse of the infinite possibilities and the infinite potentiality. I love reading Deepak Chopra in the 7 Creative Spiritual Laws, because when he speaks of the law of potentiality, it just sets my heart on fire, because I get to see a whole new way of being that this divine can express through us as us. So here's where Dispenza's work, he talks about this gap, and I know some of us here have studied quite a bit about Dispenza's work, and he speaks about this gap. Now, when I first heard the gap, I'm thinking, oh, we're talking about the meditation gap, but his gap is that space. So he has this illustration of these two hands, coming together, and this part here, in between my hands, is the gap. So here is the self. Here is the self that we show to all of you, to everyone around us. This is the persona, the personality. This is who we appear to be. This is the part of us, the truest, deepest self that is aching and longing to not be reactive, to not be cursing others, to not use swear words at the moment that we drop our guard. So that's this. That's this pure, loving self. And here's this gap. And what's filling this gap is moments of shame in the past, moments of insecurity, unworthiness, fear, doubt. They can fill the gap. And the intention when you're doing your visioning, what is mine to let go of? What is my resistance? It's usually in this field. We also call it in our subconscious. And we have to find a dialogue with that. We have to turn to it and say, get thee behind me. And so you don't try to take the whole substance and toss it. I mean, you can. That's happened with mystical awakening. But the idea is to penetrate deeply. What is mine to let go of? And the divine will say, dear one, please let go of the shame. It no longer serves you. And translate it into a whole new thing. And then this gap shrinks. This gap keeps shrinking. This gap keeps shrinking until the selves merge. And who you are is who you are. Everywhere you show up, this divinity within you is expressed. So we're stripping away these layers of resistance, these emotional blocks. So he describes the gap exactly here. When we're mired In our time-worn mindset and habitual behavior and perception, there's no way for us to find a solution to the problems rooted in the past. Now, when I read that, I felt that. Why do we spend so much time trying to find the solution to something that's long ago happened? Just take it as your lesson learned, and we propel ourselves forward. We drop that anchor of the heart and say, thank you, God, I see clearly now. And he goes on to say, those problems and experiences, really, produce powerful, energetic emotions. Once we relinquish those, we experience an enormous release of energy, and reality magically rearranges itself. How awesome is that? That's why you come to a center of spiritual living, to find that sense of, where's that magic for me today? Because I no longer am going to be driven by this resistance that has caused me to slow down when I have such precious life left. So our creative energy gets all tangled in those subconscious levels of guilt or judgment or disappointments, whatever, from the past. But we have set up an intention in our visioning. And Dispenza reminds us to ask the question, keep asking the question, what energy from the past has limited me emotionally? Am I holding on to it? And then reinforce. Is it reinforcing just this past identity? I don't want to be that anymore. Is it attached emotionally to me and it's no longer relevant to my current situations? We can use this energy, this divine potentiality. It's so exciting to transform everything into this elevated state of being. And we flow with a new me, a new you. Doesn't that feel good already? Do you feel lighter in your shoulders? I mean, I hope you're not like this, like listening, like, oh, I still got all this stuff. Let that go. Physically, try to feel it in the body. Strip away the resistance, the blocks, and let the transparency of the true self continue to call upon you to shrink that gap, to find that place where the world witnesses you as your absolute true self. I think that's exciting. I think that's exciting to have a community built on true selves. To come here when people say, oh, I really enjoy going to that center because everyone is their true self. The conversations are real. The conversations are deep and helpful and healing. So we allow this idea to be the namaste. The divine in me really sees the divine in you. This is what this means. I see you. You see me. And with joy and love fill that gap. So the second thing here that we need to do, and I mentioned it a couple times, is let go of the anchoring. So the pain that we have felt is just rehearsing and replaying all of these emotional pulls. And the pain just keeps us anchored in those unhealthy perceptions. But there is a current, and we have felt that if you think about being in a boat and the anchor lifts, that you are propelled forward, not swaying back and forth and going in circles, stuck. You are moving forward. So I thought about Mary with this, with her letting go. I mean, she loved being the co-minister. She absolutely thrived on it. She excelled in what she did. She made a choice to let that go. Not that it was a burden or an anchor, but there is a vision pulling her. Her vision ministry is exploding. Her writing, her opportunities are just exploding, right? And if you talk to Mary, it's so exciting. We were in a meeting with Unity this week, and just listening to her, she just went on and on and on, just so happy. And the three of us just were going, Mary, where have you been? Free. She's free. We're all free. We've all got that. And I just share that because she has this great passion for books, and now she's doing the radio station where she can share all that. And so the third idea is the true transformation can allow what's coming forth to be totally unrecognizable to you. That's okay. because you're being closer and closer connected to God's idea, God's higher expression for you, as you. So he Dispenza, and I'll just briefly touch upon this because it gets really specific, but try to follow this. So he's telling us the model of thinking to being. So from the frontal lobe, our mental rehearsal activates circuits in the brain, creating a rich thinking medium, a new mind. It's happening when you invest. Thank you for acknowledging. When you invest yourself in this idea of, I choose now to no longer go down the neural pathway of shame or doubt, but I choose to feel inspired and empowered. So a new mind, a new thought, creating the chemistry of influencing the neocortex, which is allowing the idea to be thinking your vision into something new. The thought becomes your experience, and the greater that we reflect and think the experience, we're creating a new feeling. Ernest Holmes ties those together. Your prayer, you must feel your prayers. You must feel your thoughts in order to make a transformation. So the thinking brain then feels this idea emerging and starts to condition you and your body to a new mind, to a new pathway. And now we're involved with the neocortex and the limbic system and the emotional brain, and now we're feeling the vision. First we thought it, now we're feeling it. And finally, the body becomes the mind. And we have had this practice, but you want to act as if it's so. Now, years ago, we had a workshop here, and people were told to close their eyes and stand up and just be what they wanted to be. And for some reason, Nadine, I picture you still in that. You know, I know, it's so weird how you can just snapshot, and we're supposed to have our eyes closed. Why I know you, I don't know, but I'm sorry, I peeked. But it was so powerful. I saw people skiing downhill. I saw people just, they were just in their light. And they were making new pathways that were stronger, more vibrant than the dull, stale, whiny ones that we keep allowing to just kind of operate there. So this idea then to believe that we are looking at faith, to believe in the substance of things not seen. It won't guarantee the exact mental prototype of what you are trying to envision for yourself, because it's going to be greater. It's going to be greater than any limitation that you can put upon it once you surrender, once you allow yourself to be pulled by that vision. So are you willing to lift that anchor and let go of the tracks of your habits and allow these neural pathways to shoot out that chemistry of joy and the juices in your body, to realize that as you take an honest look, you're making honest choices now. This is what life can be. This is what life can be. It makes me smile for each and every one of you, whatever your dreams are. As practitioners and ministers, we stand with you in that. We are skiing down the hills with you. We envision it, we feel it at every level. So Ernest Holmes says this: back of this is a fear that an idea may be forced into our consciousness, but which will uncover to us our own responsibility. That's okay. That's okay. If the fear reveals something to you, welcome it, cherish it. He goes on to say, not only must we have complete faith in spirit and its ability to know and to do, we must have complete confidence in our approach to it. We must not be lukewarm in our conviction. We must know we know. Do you know now? Yes. Oh, I think. Let me ask that again. Do you know now? Yes. Right. See, it feels good. Yes, feels good. Maybe get that behind you, because now is the time. Because change happens in an instant. In an instant. The moment you say yes and follow that path and stand in that truth and allow yourself to release the anchors. So I'm going to close with, I'm going to invite Judy up. I'm going to close with this comment from Mark Nepo. So often we make a commitment to change our ways, but stall in the face of old reflexes as situations arise. When gripped by fear or anxiety, the reflex is to hold on, that this is usually the moment we need to let go. When we feel the urgency to speed up, that is typically the instant we need to slow down. Often we feel the impulse to flee. It is the opportunity to face yourself. Taking a deep meditative breath precisely at that moment can often break that momentum of anxiety and put your psyche in neutral. From here, we just might be able to step in another direction. Non-resistance, faith. Allow it to be your journey this week. Small baby steps, small baby steps. Do-overs every day if you need them. And this, in closing, will lead me into the prayer. These are from Hamin Sunim, the things you can see only when you slow down. So move into a new posture. Move into your full being. Move into your divine connection. It will make you smile. You will feel, as you reposture and you feel, I am letting go. I am renewing my spirit here. And so this saying here, sometimes you have to push through with your convictions. You cannot please everyone. Do not hold back just because you're afraid someone might criticize you. You will probably earn yourself a few enemies, but many, many more will respect you for standing up for what you believe. Do not turn down the opportunities. If you insist you need more preparation, you may not be invited again when you finally feel ready, but you are ready now. Take up the challenge. When you wake up in the morning, say to yourself, I will not spend today passively, just doing what others tell me to do. I will take the lead and forge my own destiny. I will have a goal for the week and make a difference between having a goal and not having one. I will watch the significant accomplishment tracked back to one single thought. And even those moments in my modest dream, if I don't keep track, I'll talk to others about it. And by the time I've told 10 people, it's more likely to come true. These two things at the same time. Pretend you're already a champion and work diligently on becoming one. The gap between belief and reality will soon close. As I speak the power of the word, I feel right now the downloading of the divine moving through me. As those moments in my own personal journey where I quiver and I'm afraid to stand before you. I realize every opportunity is to bring my hands together in the gesture of namaste and really say it, mean it, feel it, be it. The divine in me really sees the divine in you. It is my last word for today. Namaste. Thank you, Judy.
We think of different songs and stuff. And we're going to do a little switch of the order we were going to do.
lost and alone on some forgotten highway, traveled by many, remembered by few, looking for something that I can believe in, looking for something that I'd like to do with my life. There's nothing behind me, nothing that ties me to something that might have been true yesterday. Tomorrow is open and right now it seems to be more than enough just to be here today. Sweet, sweet surrender. Live without care, like a fish in the water, like a bird in the I don't know what the future is holding in store. Don't know where I'm going, I'm not sure where I've been. There's a spirit that guides me, a light that shines for me. Life is worth the living, I don't need to see the end. Sweet, sweet surrender. Live without care, like a fish in the water, like a bird in the air. Sweet, sweet, sweet surrender. Live without care, like a fish in the water, like a bird in the air. Sweet surrender, sweet surrender, sweet surrender.
Oh, that was so great. You know, they're so good at, hey, let's get rid of that song. Let's do it. Jesu's topic. That was so awesome. And you know, I retired early, mainly for third retirement, but because my husband is having really hard recovery from surgery, so I'm really glad I'm there. But she sends me the staff meeting notes every week, and wow, you guys are hanging in there. I know it's tough. I know there's a lot to be done, so I honor you for that. A lot. Forgot my glasses. Oh well, we'll see what we can figure out here. Okay. We're going to go to the offertory. And we have something that we say that, oh, isn't he sweet? I thought I could wing it. Oh, dear. Okay, so we're going to do the affirmation for the offertory. Please repeat after me. Gratefully I give with an attitude of abundance. For I give, as I give, I do receive. And you know, we're actually going to pass the basket today. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. It's been over a year, so I'll give you a few minutes or a couple minutes to think about that because we haven't done that for a long time. But we're trying to get back to normal, trying to get back to that feeling of normal. And singing The Face of God, wasn't that sweet? Just doing that really helped a lot. So, are you going to play some music for the? She's okay. Lindy has it queued up. All right, Lindy.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed.
Now, you'll never see this happen again, so enjoy it. Oh, God, how cute. Oh, my God.
Okay, all those that help, stand up here with Ronnie as we bless.
Yeah, stand up here with Ronnie. Anybody who participated or thought they were participating or... No, there were at least 10 of you out there, weren't there? Oh, this is so fun. This is so fun. So when Paul, when I get home and he goes, how was it? I'll say, sit down and let me tell you. Anyways, it feels so good to laugh, doesn't it? It feels really good to be together and laugh. All right, let's do a prayer for the offering. I know this morning that every dollar given is going into such amazing programs for this center. And every dollar given is given with heart, given with love. Because not only do we love the things that do happen right and maybe happen kinda, and it's just all community being together, letting it be. And as Sue has said, even do-overs are okay. So for those at home that are sending in your gifts or dropping them off or mailing them, we so appreciate it. The center is in good financial condition because of each one of you after a long period of not being together. So we are extremely grateful that the gathering today will continue to grow and the children will come back and we'll all celebrate. And by this fall, by this Christmas, we will be a big family once again. So in appreciation for your gifts, it stimulates all that's happening here. And for that, we are so grateful. And so it is. Thank you, many ushers. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. All right. So Charlie and I are available for you after service if you would like a prayer. And then we have the practitioner affirmation. Please repeat after me. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. And that life is my life now. There is only one life. You know, that life is God's life. Isn't that amazing? That life is God's life. And it's perfect. And it's my life and your life now. Oh, what a blessed day. All right, we have a closing song. How exciting. And then you're free to leave your offerings and go and have a great day. Oh, social hall.
Don't forget. And there's some tomatoes in there. They're a little plenty ripe, but please
And
take them.
They're
'cause our
plenty
garden
good,
is
too.
overgrowing.
Yes, and a lot of other goodies too.
Yeah.
And other goodies. Yes, other goodies.
Imagine there's no heaven. Oh, it's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. What isn't hard to do? Nothing to kill or die for. No religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, oh, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people, oh, sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, oh, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one.
Thank you. And just the line, one of the songs that popped in my head is Sue going on so passionately. And I invite you to take this thought and this little ditty in your head as you go to the social hall. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine.